I feel bad. I was like, she tried and all
We
that.
are recording now.
Yay! Okay, sorry,
Yay.
not.
Sorry.
Okay. All
Guys,
right.
it feels like the last meeting.
There's one more, but yeah.
No.
Right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the red part and then we go to the other ones, so the way we know where we are. Everybody's on the module 6 team assessment sharing assessment page, so you can follow me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So for this meeting, the agenda should include the following items: the preparation. Did you complete the learning materials assessment and submit your notes? Did you complete the self and two teammates writing assessment and submit them? Yes, I did it. I believe you all said yes, so we good. Okay, no learning materials discussion is required, but you can include that if you would like. Would you guys like to comment anything? So no joke or icebreakers required, but you can include them if you'd like. Anybody would like to do a joke? No?
Yeah, androids.
For the record, that's on the assessment forms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you feel
guys are-
bullied? You're okay. I feel like your comments have really made up for it.
Yeah.
What do you call a guy with a rubber toe?
What?
Roberto.
Oh.
Good job, Rena.
Okay, so follow the instructions below to proceed for the process by which you will share your own and your teammates' assessment from your written assessment. All right, so then we also have the extra credit. Are we going to be doing the extra credit? Because Dr. Chenley said that has to be a team effort, so everybody has to agree.
If we're voting, I vote no.
Yeah, I vote no.
Nay.
Without.
No, so we are not doing. Cool. All right. Prepare for final meetings by making sure everyone will read and review the agenda so they can have thoughts about responses before the meeting. Cool. So this meeting should come after, I don't know if I should read it all of it, but cool. Come after you have held the contact discussion meeting and after each team member has submitted their completed written self and teammate assessment form. Everybody submit everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, so we are recording. Well, because this meeting will be recorded, please introduce yourself. Sorry, I'll do that and then I'm not gonna finish reading that part. So I'm Isadora, I'm the facilitator for module 6.5. Amber.
I will be the host for module 6. Paul.
My name is Paul, and I'm the timekeeper for Module 6. Cheyenne.
I'm Cheyenne. I'm the submitter for Module 6. Erin.
I'm Aaron, and I'm the jokester for this meeting, or lack of, Marina.
And I'm Marina, and I'm the challenger for the rest of the semester.
All right, so I think like we decided last time, we're gonna do ABC, so I guess we should start it with like the ABC. So like Aaron, I'm sorry, I know you say you don't have much, but would you like to start
No,
it?
I have
Okay.
some substance. So I'm starting. Am I doing my own strength? Do we want to? Okay, let me just ask. Do we want to do like our own strengths and then go back around and do everyone like our peer review part, or
I
just everything all at once?
I don't know. I was thinking.
Amber, you're muted.
Amber's trying to say something.
I
Yeah.
know, I was looking for it. I was going to say that if Aaron is going first, then that means the people who have done Aaron's assessment should share his, and then we can line accordingly.
Okay.
Okay.
We can do that. So let me just pull up my thing here. So I'm just talking about a strength and weakness that I had for like the whole session. So let's see. For my strength, I said I was a very dependable and reasonable person. I still think it holds pretty true. I would like to say I was, trying to keep everything completed before meetings. There was like one notes assignment session where like I didn't do it, but other than that, I think I was pretty good. I was reliable and understood what needed to be done prior to meetings. And I always tried to compromise with my work schedule because I know I was the only closer here. So that was my strengths. Let's see. In the areas I wanted to improve in my psychological contract, I said that I tend to get frustrated easily. I think for the most part, that didn't really happen with the meetings here. There was that 1 3-hour meeting where I was starting to be like, oh my gosh, like, like hurry up. But we were also, that was like our first, like, us working on a Google Doc. So it was understandable. And we kind of got that together pretty quickly for like the next time. What else? Yeah, I just said I was able to hold back any negative feelings I had for the sake of the team because I didn't want to disappoint you all with my negativity if I had any. Also, my camera is very good right now. Yeah, so that's that. Those are my strengths and weaknesses I got out of it. And then did you guys say you wanted to have you guys do the peer reviews, whoever reviewed me now?
So then
Okay.
Amber will say
Cool.
something, and then Cheyenne will say something.
So I think it was me and Paul, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Paul, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Uh-oh, Mary.
I don't mind. Why are you laughing at something?
No, I'm just like, I don't know. I kind of just want to see what someone else's peer review is going to be like before I give one.
I can go first.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter because I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I'll go first. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Aaron, I said quite a few things that you covered actually, because I agree with your self-assessment. I wrote the most about, let's see, these two, which you covered. So I wrote the most about taking initiative because I appreciated the fact that whenever we were working on a team written assignment, you were the first to offer up to be the typer when most of us kind of hesitated. Like, I know I didn't want to type because I'm not exactly the fastest typer. I thought maybe if I was doing that and trying to contribute, I might slow myself and us down. You jumped in and just kind of offered, so I thought that was always great. And like you said at the end of yours, you always took the initiative to offer to try and change your personal work schedule because you wanted to try and give the group a better chance of meeting. And that's very nice. Like, we all tried to make changes and like we all made sacrifices for it, but I just thought you were kind of a consistent voice offering to try and make some movement around there. Which also bleeds into the compromising and cooperated factors. So we wanted to share a strength and a weakness too, right?
So what did I suck at?
Well, so kind of like what Marina said, not to throw you under the bus, before we started the meeting officially, I had a little bit of a difficulty when I was writing my areas of improvement for you and Amber. But I thought about it, and what I came up with is almost something I just had to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I even kind of wrote it down in my notes to Dr. Chanley, is that it may just come across because of our virtual interaction, but I thought maybe something you can improve on is your overall confidence. I don't know if you consider yourself maybe like shy or hesitant a little bit, but it sort of came across that way. But again, like I said, that literally could have just been from the technology that we're using. But I thought if anything to focus on, it's that. And even then, it's not a big issue.
Yeah, well, thank you for the feedback. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
I learned to say thank you for my feedback. I'm not going to get defensive about it.
Great. Marina?
Cool. Thanks, Paul. I feel like a lot of what you guys both said is things I talked about. So I felt like, Aaron, you were always really open to sharing your point of view with the group, even if it was an alternative viewpoint. I felt like you were able to contribute your voice well, and I felt like you were able to listen to others and while also sharing your own thoughts. And I don't think you really ever were talking over people and you were belittling their thoughts. You just did a good job of speaking your truth, but also listening to other people's. I think for compromising and cooperation, I think you did a great job of, you're the real MVP of, because I know multiple times you had to switch shifts. So that was a really cool thing for you to do, because I know trying to switch shifts just stresses me out just thinking about it. So doing that for the group was really nice to you, and it showed that you were putting our group as a priority.
For sure.
So
just hit me with it. Hit me with it. Just throw it at me. Do it. Do it.
So I think one way, I'm just like, so I think you were always super prepared. Like you always submitted all your notes, and I felt like you always had a good understanding of the module content, and you like did a great job of prioritizing the team and accepting responsibilities, especially when you like I know a lot of people were willing to do it, but you took the initiative to get the interviewee, but also to like brief him and get him ready. And I know that was like extra work that we didn't have to do for the interview. So it shows like your ability to accept responsibilities. So I guess, and I felt like you always did your share of the work. A few things I will say, I think areas that you can continue to focus and grow in. Again, kind of what Paul said, like, I know it's a virtual environment. I think sometimes in the meetings, you'll kind of like hunch forward and just, so it's almost like not the in-group, out-group thing, but it's like, I just see your forehead. And so sometimes it's like, I don't have that nonverbal communication with you.
Yeah,
stop laughing.
Well, I just went.
I don't
what?
have nonverbal communication with you.
What? Did you say something?
And then the other thing is, I think you have the tendency, like, I think you're really good at going with the flow, which is something I'm working on. And I think you have that down pat, but maybe in some scenarios, it's good, but and then also in some scenarios maybe you can practice like just not taking initiative, but just like stepping up and being like, well, maybe we should do this, you know what I mean? But overall, I thought you were a great teammate. Yay!
Thank you so much.
All right, so Amber, would you like to go next?
Okay, I'll go next. So my strength, I thought that in general, I feel like I bring a positive energy as I walk through the halls at work. If I'm at the gas station, if I see someone, I am very friendly. So me on this way is the exact same as I am in person. The exception is I might hug you. So full disclosure, I'm a hugger by nature and just very friendly, very warm in general. So I would say that that's a strength for me. And I think that that maybe helped the group as far as building a rapport, maybe quicker than maybe that would have happened had I not been here. Just going to say that. And then for a weakness, I panic when there's not a plan in place, y'all. And I have on multiple occasions wanted to scream, but have not. Only because I like to have a schedule. I like to know, when am I going to have time to do this? I like to schedule my naps. I like to have things in place because, I got the toddler. So it's definitely been a good exercise for me to just have patience and just have to go through the flow. Or go with the flow of things and not charge ahead. So it's definitely a weakness for me and still something that I'll have to continue working on because the way my OCD is set up, she likes to have things in order. But I think it's just those two things though.
All right, Aaron, do you want to give her feedback?
Yeah, so hold on, let me pull it up. I'm sorry. Okay. So I scrolled past. Okay, so Amber, you were very, very helpful with the Google Docs. I think you had a great skill set to bring to like helping us with the structure and like sentence structure and all that. And you had a very it was just you were always like, well, maybe we could word it this way, and just giving some different insight on it. And I think that really helped us with our Google Doc because I think our like Google Docs compared because we got that other team's feedback and that was just a mess in my opinion, but I think we crushed it, we destroyed it, and you really helped us do that. So you brought a lot to the table for those. So yeah, I really liked that. One way I think you could improve on, I don't know, there was a few times where like, you know, like sometimes it seemed like you didn't have the right question, or like for like the when we reviewed the notes and stuff, it didn't seem like there was like a few times where
Yes,
um
definitely. I did mark that in also in my weaknesses of my
oh
my
yeah,
blatant confusion, honestly. Just
yeah, and I
and
don't mean it in a bad way or
I
anything, you
don't take
know.
it that way. I acknowledge that. And I think that goes to part of me needing a plan in place so that I have
Yeah,
time
for
and
sure.
can do things because as far as doing work, I have to start something and come back to it. So when it's
Hmm.
changing and I don't necessarily have enough time to go back to it because I can't just sit and commit 3 hours at once to do
No,
something.
I
I
get
have to
that. I'm the same
piecemeal
way.
it back. So definitely I do acknowledge that and thank you for it. Definitely.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
And before I jump in, Aaron, was that it for you, or did you want to?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
That's all I had.
cool.
We're good.
So I wasn't gonna read this part out loud, but Amber mentioned it in the beginning of
Oh
her sentence.
no.
No, you're going the wrong way. So under like the final row where it's like needs improvement, fair, or good. Well, I selected terrible. Don't kidding. I selected good, and I wrote this little sentence about it, and I said, "I'm glad Amber was a part of Team One, as her personality and work ethic was a consistent and positive influence on the team as a whole."
Cool.
So I'm glad that you feel that way about yourself, because you should.
Thank you.
Let's see. One of the biggest things I wrote about for you was a level of initiative, and like the whole seeing what needed to be done and doing it without being prompted, because you jump in and you take action, and I thought that was a really big and necessary part for this team. The example I wrote down was just the most recent one I could think of, was when Isadora said that she wouldn't be able to host Mod 7 because she's going to have a really hectic life, and you jumped in and said you would host and you would set it up for her and everything. And I just saw you do that a lot throughout this session. And I thought that was a really strong leadership characteristic, one of many that you have that you just kind of portrayed routinely. And I thought it was awesome.
Thank you, Paul. So
No
nice.
worries. Yeah, I think you feel bad about what you wrote about me.
I didn't write about you.
Well, I bet somebody feels bad about what they wrote about me.
I wrote about you, and I said I could host, but okay.
It was me.
Oh, Marina.
It was me.
Back.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got my facts mixed up. I wrote this. I'm sorry. It was Marina.
Okay.
So the one thing I thought maybe you could improve upon, yours was a little harder, if I'm being honest, to kind of pin down exactly what I thought I should write about. Not because there's a lot. I feel like that sounds like not because there's a lot.
There was so much to choose from.
No. I went with something that I feel like I've experienced before, like that I have trouble with, and I didn't do it here, I don't think, but I've seen myself do it in person in places, and I think I experienced it. But when someone has like really strong natural leadership qualities the way you do, like you have a really easy time, it seems, building a plan and putting it in action and kind of like setting things up. It's really easy for someone to come across as like short if we're in a time crunch. Like I know I've done it to people, and I think maybe that comes across with you a little bit, but not a lot. Like it was something I had to think about as a possible problem, as like
And
I don't think that's.
I would acknowledge that. I think that there's only so much time that needs to be spent on something. So if it's coming up as short, it's y'all, we are spending too much time on this. Let's move. So definitely I'll acknowledge that, but often it's deliberate because there's sometimes not necessarily a reason to dwell on something.
Exactly. I even wrote it down that it's not always a bad thing, and it's definitely a good thing to come across like this in a lot of situations. I think this was the closest I could think of for something to focus on.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who's up?
Diane, I think.
So on my psychological contract, one of the strengths that I had listed was the fact that I'm a listener. And I like to think that throughout this course, that applied, whether it just being making sure that like people were heard or acknowledging like what people were saying, and just, I guess, trying to make people feel valued. I hope that I came across that way. One thing that I put that one of my weaknesses on the contract was that I'm not a flexible person. And let me tell you that this class taught me how to be flexible, because when we're in a team setting, like, we have to make sacrifices. And I'm very much someone who, I like my agenda, I like my schedule, and I like my routine. And so there were a couple times where I did like switch some of my things around for us to like meet and everything. And so I think that was one of my weaknesses, and I'm slowly learning to like improve on it. Like, I will do it, but I'll do it with like very begrudgingly. And so I'm working on doing it just like willingly. So thanks for your patience with all of that through this course. That was very appreciated.
Although they come in.
I can go. So, yeah, actually, that was going to be one of my strengths for you. I think one of the most valuable things you did was sacrificing your Tuesday engagements, those couple of times. It was really helpful because, I have like open availability at work, and like my schedules are random, but for some reason it's always Tuesdays I'm off. I don't know what it is, but it was like I get 2 days off a week, and that was one of them. And the other was like Fridays or Saturdays or something. And so like the Tuesdays were really helpful for us to do our meetings on. So you sacrificing a little bit of your engagements on Tuesdays was really helpful for everyone. I said earlier that I couldn't think of something for you, but I kind of just had something pop up into my head. So I think one thing you could improve on, I recall you saying you were an introvert like during that last meeting, and it seems like sometimes you might be a little more reserved than you could be. I feel like you could bring in your opinion a lot more than you do. But other than that, you're awesome. You got good points. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All good to go, Aaron?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No problem. I was just confirming. Now, I don't know if everybody else used the updated form. Like, I have bullet points of everything, but I'm just going to keep it brief. I think, Cheyenne, that it is so wonderful that you as an introvert took it upon yourself to offer yourself as the sacrifice and be the first facilitator. So I did make sure to make note of that. And I think that is extremely impressive, especially as we've gotten to know you. You're now revealing that, oh, I'm an introvert as well. So I thought that was really wonderful. I would say that also you stepping outside of your comfort, even though it is not comfortable for you on a regular basis, it definitely does look like you are making steps towards and making efforts to become more comfortable so that you can be an effective leader. And then let me make sure there was another one. Also, I put, thank you for sacrificing your prior engagements, because that was huge. And let me take a look here. So I'm not reading it all by sentence. I think that another, this is both a part of a strength and a weakness. I think that because of your directness, our meetings probably were cut shorter than what they potentially could have been, honestly. So thank you for that, because I'm a talker, but I'm sleepy. So sometimes someone said, tell me to stop. So definitely appreciate the fact that you were still trying to handle business, still saying, okay, guys, that's funny, but let's move on. So that's wonderful. And then, and I apologize, I want to pause and see if you wanted to respond to anything.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, and then as far as a weakness, and it's not even you as an individual, again, just writing something. And even myself, I had to remember, oh, they're recording me. I need to be mindful of what is my face doing? Because especially for you, Cheyenne, when you hear something that you're like, what do you mean? Your face, first it changes, and then you speak. And it's like, and don't get me wrong, like in person, you remember, okay, I shouldn't respond until I have spoken. But when we're in this environment, even I had to check myself, like, oh, my face is giving all my information away. So I would say that if being in a virtual setting is going to be another, a regular occurrence for you going forward, is just remember to be mindful of what are we doing. Like at work, I have a mirror, so I know what I'm doing. it's not even that they can see me. It's just my voice, my tone is going to be impacted by what my face is doing. So, but that is not even just for you, Cheyenne. That is really for all of us. But really good job. And you would be a welcome addition to my team. Okay.
Thank you. And my emotions, like I'm somebody, you can read everything that I'm thinking just based off of my face. Like I've gotten into trouble at work. And,
Oh, no.
so I acknowledge that and thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
Can I just, okay, I got home from work like literally like 10 minutes before this meeting starts. Can I please go to the bathroom?
Yeah, let's pause. Go to the bathroom.
That needs to be added to his feedback, constantly using the restroom.
To be fair, he just compromised and jumped right into.
Okay, we're going again.
Okay. So I guess it's me now. So my strength, I put that at least I want to give the image that I'm trustworthy. So like whenever you guys need it, you could have count on me, even though it's like a virtual meeting thing, but that's like something that I believe. It's really hard for me to say something about me. So it was really hard for me to find something that it kind of like would give me that, oh, okay, maybe I see that on me, because I'm really harsh to myself. So I'm like, okay, so that's what I put. And then my weakness is that I'm really shy and that I'm very soft-spoken. So sometimes I start strong and then I'll go low and low and low. Then I don't know if you guys can hear me all the way through the meetings and all that, because I'm like, I get nervous and then I'll say stuff like a bunch of repetitive times. So I think that's one thing for me. I think because I think I lack confidence, so that's my biggest weakness. So I'm gonna put it. So I don't know who got me. Go for it. I'm ready.
I'll go first, or Amber?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So I put that one of the things that I felt that you really contributed to the team was I felt that everything that we were learning about, you took it and like you showed us like how this applied within your life, whether it be like your normal personal life or within your work life. And that was really cool because it gave me a deeper understanding of the course material that we were learning and just like how it connects to our life rather than just being within a classroom. And so I don't know, that's just a cool asset to have, is taking things out of a textbook and showing like how it applies to your life, makes things more interesting. And then this is like a little side note, but I still wanted to say it, is I like have seen incredible growth within you like over the past couple of weeks. Like from our first meeting, like you were very reserved, and like I feel like now like you've just grown in your confidence within like sharing your opinion or whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking. And so I think that's really cool. I also put on there that like you make me want to be a better leader, and your store is just incredibly blessed to have you as their ASN. So something that I put that you could improve on was don't be afraid to try new things. In our first meeting, like I felt that you were a little hesitant with taking whatever role you were given. And I think because it was something that was outside of your comfort zone. And so you have so much to offer any team that you're in, any relationship that you're in. And so just don't let that fear or that, what's the word I'm looking for? That fear, like uncertainty, keep you from taking that next step. Because I think that you have a lot of opportunities in front of you. And once you are willing to like, once you step into that, like you just excel in everything that you've done. Like you were nervous about the facilitator role, but you've done like an excellent job with that. And so just be willing to like take that step.
Okay, thank you.
Okie dokie. So I don't know if anybody remembers back in Module 2, but it was Isadora who actually suggested that we communicate via text, and that we implemented that right away. And it was so profound that I started my evaluation for you, Isadora, right away and added that in so I didn't forget about it. And I was like, well, I want to make sure I remember that. And I was already prepared to do one for all of us because I did not quite understand, but it's okay. Save myself some typing time. So definitely your contribution as far as ideas, and even just listening to the other ideas that other people have and saying, okay, great, how can we get that, in place, and how can we get that in order? I mean, it definitely does take leaders, but it takes people to also implement the ideas to actually get things done. So it definitely is a good thing to be able to transition from leader to, busy work, with a very simultaneous or very clear ease for you. And then also, let me take a look here. So I'm going to jump. You are amazing. I want you to know that, but I want you to know these strengths because I want them so much for you. I'm going to talk about your confusion because it was literally the same thing that I had right for myself. I was also confused. But I was like, well, I was also confused. So that one is something that you and we shared. But then also I remember at one point you stating that you were looked over for a promotion because of a language barrier. Yeah. And I want you to know that even in discussion, there have been times when you are expressing yourself and it's not clear. And it's not at all that you're not intelligent or that you are not capable of expression for that. So I want to challenge you to, improve your comprehension and improve your proficiency because it has stifled you already. And in order for you to really be able to advance and not only beyond what you have as far as expectations for yourself because of your energy, because of your work ethic, there's no reason under the sun for you needing to be working this hard for all these fools, at the same level and unwilling to provide the same amount of energy that you are. So that if that's the only thing that's holding you back, you're already reading all the time, girl. Pick up a thesaurus with it and read those two so that you're understanding what these other words mean so that you can interchangeably use them, or even be with a trusted friend and say, hey, I'm giving you permission. Correct me when I'm saying something to you in English that doesn't make sense so that I get it right, so that when I'm talking in an interview, I have it correct with someone that you're comfortable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I really wanted to share that, and I wanted to make sure that it did not come off as a negative thing. It is just an area that you can improve and grow from. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Marina, I guess?
Yeah. And actually, before I start, I know I didn't have you for the peer review, Isadora, but one thing I want to say is that it low-key inspires me, that sometimes when I'm confused, I get very self-conscious and I just sit in my confusion. And I really I feel like you're courageous in the fact that when you're confused about something, you're like, wait, hold up. I don't understand this. Can we explain it? And I think that's a really good quality. That's a really awesome thing to be able to do. And that's what I'm working towards. Because sometimes I'll just be well, everyone else understands. I should understand. Let me just think about it. But it's no, sometimes you just got to be hold up. Can you explain this to me? So I just think it's awesome that you're that you do that, because that's what I'm working towards. All right. So, so overall, I feel like I was able to contribute to the team in with my ideas and my effort and my work ethic. I feel like I was able to, I know I like to be silly and joke, and I felt like I was able most of the time to balance joking and bantering, but also getting work done and sharing my ideas. I think another thing I contributed was my willingness to be flexible with my schedule. I know a few of us had to make those sacrifices too, and I think we really all did. Is a hard class to make work, and with the changing schedules, and I thought we all did a good job of doing what we had to do to meet. And so I felt like I was able to do that successfully. I think areas I'm still working on, improving. I know sometimes what I'm feeling shows on my face. So if I'm annoyed, I start to look annoyed, and I'm working on that. And then the other big thing I'm working on is, I know I say and a lot, and I try to be very conscious of it, but I know they come out a lot.
Same.
So I And a lot of you guys, you guys are all like super concise speakers. So I want to think about what I'm saying and say it, but I also don't want to talk so slow to where they're just like, bro, is she good? So I'm still working on that. And I feel like this class has actually helped a ton because I never get a chance to just sit here and force 5 people to listen to me talk. So I think, yes, I'm still working on that. And I wrote down another. So yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
I wrote about you, so I'm going to start with the weakness because I think you just told me pretty much what I think. Like, not I think, but I think you're too harsh on yourself sometimes, and you should kind of think about that. Not think about it, but like for me, what I see in yourself, you're too harsh. I know you can do it, but you like, should I do it? Don't doubt yourself. Just go for it. Like life will teach you, even if it's not something you're looking for. You will like, oh, I got this. But don't be harsh on yourself. That's the biggest thing I put for you. Because on the team charter that we have, you're like, okay, I'm gonna start typing, and then you're typing, and then you came back and was like, do you guys really like this? I was like, be confident. We like that. Go on. And like, if it didn't, I'm sure Paul would have said something. I would have said something. Like, there's
Called out.
So no, I'm picking Paul because he's really honest. So like, he would have told you something. So I feel like that's why I start with your weakness. You're too harsh on yourself. And then your strength, I put that you are very determined to get something, and that's a great thing. I wish I had that, like being determined to like, okay, I'll get this done. Like you're very determined, and then like you're very particular in what you're doing, that you're like over like thinking to make sure everything's cleared and it's going the way you want. And I think that's great as a leader. That's awesome because that's how you make good decisions. You really have to be determined to get what you want because you don't want to lack somewhere later. So. And overall, I put you great. I put everybody's great. All right.
Thank you.
So I also wrote about you. So something that I think that you really contributed was your flexibility and your commitment to the team, especially like you and Erin. You sacrificed like so much sleep for this team. And so I just want you to know how grateful we are just for that sacrifice and everything. And yeah, so that's one thing that I put. And then another thing that I noticed was you just have this sense of sincerity that you bring to the group. I feel that when you're committed to something, like you put your heart into it and you find a passion for it, even if it's something that's really boring, like you're invested in it and you're committed to it, which is something that is going to be like very useful in whatever you do, because sometimes we're faced with really boring stuff and we have to find a way to make it interesting. And so I just felt that you took that, you brought that to our group. And then also like what Isadora stated, like you were also very direct and you helped us to stay on task. And you helped, I feel like a lot of our meetings, they could have gone on for a while, but you stepped in and you helped to keep them short. And so thank you for that. One of the weaknesses or areas that I put that you could improve on was be willing to speak up. And I think that you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I felt that there were times where we could see it on your face that like you had a question, but you didn't necessarily like speak up about it or ask. Or I felt that there were times that you may have been holding back from what you wanted to like say exactly. And so I just want you to know, like, your opinion and your voice, like, it's valued and it's needed in any group or any team that you're in. And so just try to find that confidence to speak up and ask those questions, because I guarantee any questions that you had, like somebody else in this group probably had as well. And so just try to find that voice and just be confident with it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I'm sure you guys are excited to insult me, so let's do this. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't. I'm a soft little boy. So the strength I wanted to highlight, which is something I mentioned on my site contract, and then I decided to continue on through into this self-assessment, is I get a lot of joy out of like fact checking and going through and making sure we're getting something correct. And it used to be a little bit of a weakness because I would let it go too far and I would fixate, which I think I've worked on for a while now, but it's just been something that I can rely on. Like I mentioned in our like various communications, like with the group chat, you know, with 5 of us responding to one person's question and maybe 2 of us have 2 different answers. One of us is right, one of us doesn't know that we're not right, and it can be really confusing. Like I've been wrong and I've been confused. So being able to go through and find the actual answer in whether it's like a module tab or one of Dr. Chanley's emails, I think a lot of us have shown the ability to do that, and it's something that I enjoy doing in other like sections of my life that's kind of saved me some time and definitely a lot of work. So I like being able to do that and being able to get the right answer for my team, which I know I've seen you guys all do before too, which is what helped us a lot this session. The weakness I highlighted is I'm not 100% committed to it, but it's what I mentioned on my site contract again, and it's something that I thought I should see through to the end of the session. So again, I'm not 100% on it, but I definitely overthink my own actions a lot because I didn't used to, and I wanted to start being a little bit more sensitive when it came to serious issues because I didn't. I was 100% the guy that would just say something, even if I didn't fully stand behind it and not care that it upset somebody. So I started overthinking, which slowed me down more than I needed to. Like it was an overcorrection. So I tried to get away from that. And I kind of, as soon as we got to know each other a little bit more, I knew that whether it would be like, you know, like Amber or Cheyenne or Aaron or somebody, one of you guys would call me out if I did something wrong. Oh, she's shaking her head at me.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So I knew that this was an environment that I could trust you guys that let me be able to not think about it while staying mindful of it. Like not get bogged down, but have like sensors. We're like, oh, you went too far to the left. All right, fix that. You went too far to the right. Fix that. But not fixate on it, which is something I've done before. And so a weakness that you guys have helped me with that I really appreciate. Anybody want to roast me first?
I can go.
Oh, I knew it. You had that smug
Okay.
little look.
So, starting with your strengths, I think you did a great job of, I felt like you have a very, very solid understanding of the module content throughout the entire semester. I felt like there were a few times where you helped clarify points for me or things like that. So you had a really good like understanding of the material, and you were able to contribute like your unique perspective and point of view effectively. And I also felt like to me, your biggest strength within our group was you had the ability to make sure that everybody was heard. I felt like every single meeting, there were times where you were like, oh, hey, like Cheyenne, what were you saying? Or like, Isadora, do you want to finish that thought? So I felt like you did a really good job of reading nonverbal cues and also kind of watching everybody and making sure everybody had an opportunity to speak, and nobody was talking over each other like on purpose, but making sure that everybody was able to speak. And I thought that was really awesome of you. I think you came to meetings prepared. You communicated effectively, verbally and non-verbally. And I felt like, yeah, I think overall you like had great contributions. One thing I will say, like one area I think you can continue to grow in is I feel like you have, if you like were to walk into a room, it's like you have the attention of the room. And I think sometimes that would like, you could set the tone like within the 6 of us. And it's like, if you're joking around a ton, everybody else is joking around. And then I know, so sometimes I guess it's just, and this will always be an issue with like different groups and different people, but like if I was like in my serious mindset and like trying to do something and then you were like joking around, it's like you like set that precedent. I never thought it was like, I feel like we're in a very effective team, and it's not like it was hindering our progress, but you definitely have, I think that's just something to be aware of, that you definitely can like set the tone in a room, which I think is really good or bad thing, but I think you can use that as a good thing because, yeah. So.
No, thank you. I am aware of it, and I have made efforts towards it, but not as much as I should have. So no, I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Right, I'll roast you now. I'm kidding. All right, I put that your strength or that you are very spontaneous. Like you're very like you're ready for it and you like prepare for everything that's happening. I put yes. I also put that you like every time we were talking is like, hey, hold on, somebody else is talking. You kind of read everybody's like throughout this whole process. Like I think you were like one of the few people that was like, hey, Cheyenne is talking. Hey, I'm talking. Because, like I say, I'm very shy. So I was kind of like, if nobody hear me, it's fine. I'm okay. So you brought that up, like reading us. And I put that one of your strengths, I don't know, like your humor, like you make people laugh even though they're uncomfortable. And that's pretty good because it's like when I'm uncomfortable, I zoom down. And I think sometimes like your jokes or whatever, it was fun. So, and then your weakness, I put that sometimes, don't take me wrong, like people might think your jokes might not be a joke, might be something that's like, you like that's how you think. Like the first time you say something about Aaron's dad, I'm like, is he for real? Like I really had to think about it. So that might be like a weakness because like I don't know, people might not read you well as we do, you know. I see Amber laughing over there, he's typing something. So I'm like, I don't know, I put that might be one of your weakness. I'm sure somebody else wants to say something about your weakness. I don't know. Anybody has any comments about Paul?
I think I already shared them as I yelled. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Just the fact that you're an Android user.
Oh, damn it.
That was a good one.
You're all a bunch of hypocrites.
Are we? I don't know. I will say I really enjoyed, you said something that was so crude. Cheyenne said she had to pray on it. And now I put that in my review. I was like, I feel I too need prayer because, and I love that you were able to laugh about it, Cheyenne, and not get offended because it was ridiculous. I don't even remember what you said. I blocked.
I do.
Don't say it again. I'm just saying. Okay.
I want you to know that I've been praying for you a lot.
Okay.
I feel like if anyone should be offended, it's me.
You're right, Aaron, and
You're a good sport, Aaron.
You bring
Although,
a valid point.
I will say, Paul, I know it's all fun and games. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're serious. I don't. Okay, but I'm not offended. I literally don't care. I have friends that are worse. I've been told worse stuff. I'm okay, so you're good.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
It's difficult when you have an attractive father. I know.
It is.
Okay, listen.
I had to kick girls out of my house. I'm like, no, you
listen.
cannot come over here. Get out.
It is not. I will just say I've had coworkers tell me like, wow, your dad is super attractive. And I'm just like, oh.
It's uncomfortable.
It's a little bit, but I'm just brushing it off. Like, yeah, I take by it, so whatever. Like, I'll take it as a compliment. Like, that's my dad. Like, I got genes, so.
She starts a conversation with me, a friend that I had in high school. She said, "How's my husband?" I'm like, "Bitch, we do not know him. Get away from my dad." Oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome.
I understand. It's good. And you are a good sport about it too, Aaron.
Oh, thank you.
Very good.
Sure.
All right. Are we good?
Is that everyone?
So, we all went.
Do we? Yeet. No, I'm kidding.
We're just about an hour.
I was gonna say, should we do the feedback right now? Because we got the module 5 feedback.
We can.
Well, wait.
Then hold on.
I'm so confused.
So she just sent it to us like on an announcement or on our grades?
No, it's in the grades. If you, module 5 team interview assignment 5.2, and then you just click the.
Is it like super short module?
It's short.
It's like one little paragraph. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like a whole page.
The one that starts with Amber.
No, it's team. It's module 5 team. Or wait, is there 2 of them?
Oh.
The one I see is team 5 or module 5. It was the interview one. It says team 1 interview meeting. Oh yeah, you're right. I was reading the first line. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I've done differently.
Real quick, I think we may have made a mistake.
Boy.
Yes, I'm reading the rest of the instructions in 6.3, and I think we have to go through the rubric and share our grades with specifics. She wants us to read everything.
Oh.
Pauline?
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I went through the rubrics. I went boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, we had to. That was the assignment.
That's my bad. I filled out the assignment, but I
No, I
kind
mean,
of
like, when I was speaking, I just, like, hit each
Well,
thing.
like I did too a little bit, but I didn't cover everything. Like I focused on something Aaron may have said or
Where does it say that? Where'd you read that?
where yeah.
So be sure as you share your ratings that you provide specific examples. And this isn't in the filling out part, this is the discussion part. So we're supposed to be saying it.
I think it was just, I think that's more of like a give specific examples. Like,
As we're
you,
talking over strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, like for instance, I was like, hey, Amber, like you were good with the Google Docs specifically, or like, you know, like that's what, that was my
Not
specific.
you guys were
example.
great. Let's end the meeting.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So
So
if
I
you
think we're
guys think
fine.
that's all we
I
have-
think we're okay,
Okay.
in my
Paul,
opinion. I don't know if you guys,
Paul, are you okay with that, though, or do you want to go back through?
I'm good because I've got over 100%, and if we lose list, I'm solid anyway. So like,
yeah, I think we're all pretty solid.
Yeah.
but
I don't
just
think we'll
I
lose
guess-
points for that. That
I
would
think
be.
I just when I
weird.
read as you share your ratings, I thought she meant like sometimes.
Well, we can share our ratings real quick, but we don't have to go back over our comments if you want
Yeah.
to do that.
I'm
Yeah,
good with either one. I just thought we missed something.
Are you
Oh.
talking about like the overall rating that we gave?
Yes.
Oh,
I just said,
I mean, I'll just say I put good for both of you. Like
yeah,
I
that's what I did for everybody. I put everybody was great.
I don't think good's the right term in my opinion,
I
but that
put
was the best I
excellent.
could.
Yeah.
There isn't. Well, no, I just meant like on the chart itself. It says, what does it say? Needs improvement, fair, and good. And I was like,
It
I'll
also
just put
has
it on the-
excellent on the updated.
Where does it really?
Yeah, on the updated one. So
Oh, okay, that's-
Cheyenne, you got excellent, and Isadora, you
Well, you
also
guys-
got excellent.
Mine's
Cool,
not the
I'm ready.
updated, but you guys are excellent. So I would have put that
Thank
100%.
see,
Thank
this is,
you.
and Amber, I know you touched on this earlier. That was one thing, like, I like knowing, like, okay, I'm going to go to the module and this is where the content's going to be. I don't like having to go to an email to find, like,
Yeah.
No, and that's confusing. I feel like, you know, if there's a course eval, which there should be, I'm going to put, like, it needs to have a little bit more organization. Like, everything should be laid out within that module section. Like, because it's weird having to go into something to grab it, you know, like, or like, you know, oh, wait for me to email you or or like, wait for this feedback, or like, wait, like, here's an email with the new agenda, stuff like that. It's just like kind of brings a little bit of confusion to everyone.
Yeah. Like
But,
granted, change is natural and it's going to
Well,
happen.
yeah, for
It
sure.
yeah.
And I can only imagine how difficult it is to organize change when you're handling who knows how many students.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, like, props to Dr. Chanley for, like, rating all this.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a lot to keep up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Why'd you say be nice?
All right, guys. You guys want to go through the comments? Are we doing the 5.2 then, the interview one?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
Okay. So I started a couple lines, I guess. So Amber, you are now closer to your camera. Thanks. I like how we drew out the team members and had you do a little longer introduction. He really put everyone at ease. Amber, do you want to go next?
Yes, I can go next. Well, let's see here. His discussion about introversion and leadership was very interesting and excellent insights. I hope that you all feel like you are learning a lot from your interviewee because he gave wonderful insights and suggestions. Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you were calling. Okay. Everyone was engaged, actively listening, giving good feedback to him verbally and non-verbally. Great flow. You all built off his answers well. I'm going to keep reading because I like this part. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in the interview. Paul, you were funny.
Paul, what'd you do? What happened?
What was she
I
talking about?
genuinely don't know. I think she's talking about the love comment.
Yeah, if you think you're in love, I'm pretty sure. 'cause
That was funny.
It was
Almost
funny.
positive. That's the
Wait,
only
what'd you-
thing I did.
Like
Then-
after the meeting, he literally, the first thing he said when he left was, "Oh my God, I'm in love."
Yes.
You know, like we all cracked up.
Oh, goodness.
And like, oh, when Aaron came back and's like, he hasn't actually left yet, guys.
I forgot about that.
He did not leave. He could hear
Oh,
that still.
no.
He heard what
Oh, my
Marina said and he heard what Paul said.
Okay, let's see. Whoever's reading next.
Cool.
Cheyenne, do you want to read next? You assign.
You assign your own assessments. You each do yourself and 2 of your team members. Make sure everyone has 2 assessments. I'm just going to finish it. Oh, good. You found the answer. Great meeting, folks. The interviewee, can't remember his name, was great. He was a wonderful choice. Dr.
Eric Bowman.
Excuse me? No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Whatever his middle name is, Bowman. I have a question. Amber, didn't you get closer to your computer like a long
I
time ago?
know. I feel like
Yeah, I was gonna say.
feedback a
Well,
couple
I
times.
don't, but my desk hasn't moved. I haven't changed
Right?
anything. I just, maybe my chair is in a different spot, but I can only sit where it's comfortable, and that changes.
You're in an out group because your camera's a little bit farther away, by the way.
I know it's fine. I'm just glad everybody can see me.
Yes.
Yeah, like I know we said it before, and so I promise not to be too repetitive, but I really liked the interview. And Aaron, thanks for getting your dad. He was really
Yeah.
good. He had great answers.
Yes, he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, aside from him just like being a cool dude, I felt like I learned stuff too.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
bet
guys
he
are
could
making me
teach
blush.
Are you? You know what?
Stop.
I'm about to hush myself. I was about to say something crazy. Paul,
Do
you're having
it.
a bad influence on me. I can't deal with it. It's too much.
Say it. No, say it. Now
No.
I'm curious. Amber,
I
Amber.
refuse.
Please, 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 please.
I
Amber,
refuse.
be part of the in-group. Come on.
I don't want to be part of the in-group, guys.
He does not have an Insta. He has like a Facebook. That is like the only social media he uses.
It's
and
pretty
he
dry.
doesn't use it.
Yeah,
and
it's
Dry.
he probably sifted through it all already.
yeah.
He's not a social media kind of person,
That's
unfortunately.
okay.
Do you know if he has a grinder?
I
Location anyway. Paul's like probably moving to Tennessee.
He's gonna keep that interview video forever.
Oh my goodness.
Like saved on it. It's like pinned on his YouTube channel.
Oh my god.
Video title Best Day of My Life.
Was there any more?
No, I
feedback?
was
No.
it.
Okay.
Because, like I say, when I emailed her, I think after I emailed her, she sent the feedback too, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, continuing on. So I think now it's just all about Module 7, guys.
What's his kick? You know they're shutting down kick?
Yeah, they're
You
getting
saw that.
they're shutting it down. That's a whole era. Like
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm
He does have a LinkedIn. He does.
Guys, focus, okay?
Sorry,
Let's
thank
get
you,
this.
Isadora.
Focus. Somebody has to sleep. You guys have to sleep. For me, it's super early. For you guys, it's super late.
Yeah, it is 12:10 here.
See? All right.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
focus. All right.
Okay.
So, chapter
Module 7.
Module 7. All right. Do we need to do anything about that, guys? Like module. After sharing assessments complete, please review the descriptions of the test. Okay, we are still gonna keep the same rules, right? Unless you want to switch, Amber. It's up
You're
to
not
you.
switching. You're going to get the practice.
Take it.
And then we kind of Cheyenne looked at Mod 7 the last time we had a meeting, and yeah, it looks like a lot, but I think it's just a lot of steps. That's all. So it's just going through the coursework or the case study, and kind of analyzing it.
There's one other thing, so it says nonverbal language and comment. So this is something that needs to be discussed. So discussing nonverbal language and comment on your observations of your own body language at the most recent team meeting based on viewing 15 to 20 minutes of the recording of that meeting. So before our next meeting, go through and watch 15 to 20 minutes
Of this meeting.
and just make some notes on your nonverbal and body language.
Okay.
Bring to the next meeting. So that's probably going to take some time, but
Okay, so just to clarify for myself,
Mhm.
the two things I'll be doing before the Module 7 meeting, which we're having on Sunday at 8
8:30.
a.m. Arizona time, or 8:30 Arizona time, is doing and submitting the Module 7 notes and then watching 10 to 15 minutes of this meeting
I don't think there are notes.
No, I think there is a no.
If
No.
it's, I think it's
No, there's. Oh, I'm sorry. It is. It just okay. My
Because
apologies.
there's a video that we gotta watch, no?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. My apologies.
okay.
Yeah.
So do and submit those notes, and then watch like 10 to 15 minutes of this meeting, and then take notes and be ready to discuss.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then we're also going to have opportunity to provide like feedback in the next meeting. So feedback from videos, textbook stuff, and then assignments. So just be thinking of that kind of stuff too.
Okay. Is there an agenda for that? I think so. I think I saw an
Yes,
agenda
there
for
is.
that. Okay.
This one has a full agenda.
Yeah.
All right. Since we already make the time, we good, guys.
Alrighty.
Other
Sounds
comment
good.
before we go?
That's awesome.
Oh, so did anybody specifically want their feedback emailed to them?
I'm gonna watch the video again, so I guess we're good, right? Because we have to watch the video again.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I kind of blanked out. Wait, we have to watch this meeting or something?
15 to
Yeah.
20 minutes of it.
To assess
Oh.
your to assess your body language.
So probably go to where
Ah.
like you were being assessed
Yeah, that's a good
or
one.
look at yours to see how you were responding.
Okay. Will that get linked like in the group chat or?
No, I'll email it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha.
I think you
Sweet.
emailed the last one too, right? Because I got it and I was like, oh, there's
I think I did. I thought that's what we were doing, but I don't know if everybody else was doing it, but it's okay.
I definitely
No,
did
I
not.
didn't. Oh, my
No big
bad.
deal. But I think that under the grade, when you open it up, you can see it there anyway.
Mhm.
So that's it's in two places then.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
All right, I'll see you guys on Sunday morning.
See you guys Sunday morning.
Yay.
All right.
Bye.
Good
See ya.
job. Bye.
Hi, Eric.